Hi devs. Welcome back to the series. Today we are looking at question number 345, which is reverse vowels of a string. On the surface, it looks like a very simple problem. So you are given a string, and we are supposed to figure out where the vowels are and kind of switch them around. So if you have a string like hello, so we have two vowels over here. So one is E and the other one is O. So we're just supposed to swap those two around. So the new string that we have is HOLLE, right? So basically the vowels have been switched around. There's a couple of ways of tackling this problem. One would be using some sort of like a two pointer. So if we have a string like let's just take something random like ABCDEFGHI, right? Then let's reduce this a little bit. Then we have two pointers, so let's just call it I and J. So we put I over here, we put J over here. We keep on incrementing I until we encounter a vowel. So in this case, I has already encountered a vowel. And then once we have encountered a vowel, then we move to J and we keep on decrementing J until we encounter a vowel. So in this case, J has already encountered a vowel. Once we do that, then we swap. So we take A from here, move it to where I is, and we take I and move it to where A is. So this becomes I now, and this becomes A. And then after that, we increment I, we leave J where it is. Next is not a vowel, we increment I again. That is not a vowel, we increment I again. That is not a vowel, we increment I again. And now we encounter a vowel. And then we look at where J's position is. We decrement J, so J is here, and then we decrement J again until we encounter vowel again. So we're there, and now since I and J are together, there is no point in swapping because there is nothing to swap, and that should kind of finish the whole iteration. Okay, so we kind of have a rough idea of what we need to do. Let's try and do this. Now, since strings are immutable in most languages, we need to convert the string into some sort of a different data structure. So the easiest one that I can think of is probably going to be an array. So what we'll do is we'll just convert our string to an array. Let's just call it SR, and we can use the split function, right? What I also like to do is kind of introduce a new um, set of vowels, right? This just makes it easier to do the comparison and make sure that we are getting the correct characters. So we have A, E, I, O, and finally U, right? And since we're looking at both uppercase and lowercase, so we can also just add the uppercase characters. This just makes it easier for us to compare. It's not absolutely necessary for the algorithm to work, right? So now after that, we need to declare our two pointers. So just like the pseudocode, we'll just name them I and J. So let I equals to 0 and let J equals to the end of the string, which is going to be sr.length minus 1. Now we want some sort of a while loop, so we will keep on iterating while I is less than J. So as soon as I becomes more than J, that means that we have kind of flipped them, we have crossed them over. That means that if we're going to continue with the algorithm, that'll probably undo everything that we have done, right? Right. Okay, so now the next thing that we want to do is we want to check if vowels dot has the correct character that our I is at, right? If that is true, and before I forget, I should increment I over here. So if the character that I is at is a vowel, then we want to find its matching vowel, right? So since we don't know where exactly the vowel would be, we will just start doing another while loop while j is greater than I. And the keen observers among you must have noticed that this and this is the same condition, just flipped. And the reason for this is mostly that I just wanted to continue doing something, and I'll probably break somewhere in the middle, right? So if j is greater than I, then again we want to check if vowels dot has srj, right? So if the jth character is also a vowel, then we want to do the swap. So we can do the swap by just creating a temp variable. Let's make this equal to sri, and then sri will be equal to srj, and finally srj is going to be equal to temp, right? So now since we have used up the jth character, we probably want to decrement j as well, right? And then after that we want to just break out, right? And out of this if statement we still want to continue decrementing j until we hit our vowel. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we have done the flipping, and then we are left with an array that has got the vowels reversed. So we can just return the array, so sr, but we want to join it into a string, so we can use the join function with a string, with an empty string in it. And yeah, let's test this out. Awesome, that works. That works as well. Awesome. Now there's a different way of doing this, and I'm not entirely sure if it'll be the more popular way of doing things. But what we can also do, so let's get the whiteboard back. Let me just finish deleting this. Okay, let's get the whiteboard back. Okay, so there's another way of doing this. If we iterate through the string, so if we have a string of a b c d e f g h and I, right, we can start iterating through it, and we can maintain a new array of vowels equals to an array, right? So once I is here, let me change the color. So once I is here, right, and I is at a vowel, we want to append it to our vowels array, right? So then the next one is going to be here. So I goes from here to here to here to here to here. Finally it encounters another one, so we add that to our vowels list, and then we continue the process all the way until we get to the last one, right? Now the good thing with using something like an array is that arrays are actually, they act like stacks. So if we do vowels dot pop, right, that will actually pop off the last vowel that we had, right? So what we can start doing then is, so this will be our first iteration. The second iteration, anytime we encounter a vowel, we want to pop from the vowels array and append it to the string, right? So the next time when this loop goes in, a has been encountered. A is a vowel, so we pop one out. That will be I, and then B, C, D. These are not vowels, and then E is a vowel, so we pop the next one out, which will be E, and then after that F, G, H, and I is a vowel, so we pop the last one out. A, right? Now the benefit of using this sort of an approach would basically be that there is less conversion between a string to an array and back to a string, right? So that can potentially make the algorithm slightly faster. So let's code that up. So let's maintain a new array just called vowels. So this one's lowercase, whereas the other one was uppercase. So for let char of string, right? And if vowels dot has char, then we want to push char into a vowels array, right? And then finally we start creating a new string. So let's just call it res, make it a new string, and then again we're just going to run the same loop again. So let char of s, right? And again it'll be the same if statement. So vowels dot has char, right? But this time around what we're going to do is we're going to say res plus equals to vowels dot pop, right? Else we're just going to say res, just add the character back, and then finally we're going to return our result. Let's run that, and that works. Let's submit it, and it does almost the same. So yeah, those are two possible ways of doing it. And yeah, I guess the main thing comes down to what limitations have been set during your interview process. With that, thank you everyone for watching this video, and again thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.